because I could record it. When it is not perfect, of course, it is not perfect. It's impossible to catch this subject about the sacrifice, but it gave me a relief to see that is gone, could put in words. So now I'm just working on, and I will release soon, I think. It's just to share this, Etienne. Could take my notebooks to see all the classes and how these images uh, if, uh, changes a long time. It was nice.
Thank you for sharing. This is so beautiful. I was thinking about this today too, and the other day about the sacrifice and topic, and just a little example from our daily life. And I'm seems to me that in all cultures it's the same. That when there's a baby, the father of the baby. Good morning, Jill. We're very happy that you're here. And good luck with the new YouTube channel. It seems that in all cultures, when there's a baby, the fathers, and you maybe can testify from your own experience, I believe that you have seen it, that when there's a baby, the father uh, holds the baby in one arm, in one palm, and hold the baby up in the air. Usually the mothers, they don't do it. They are very afraid. Did you evidence this in your life? Experience something like that?
Yes, of
Why?
course.
Why is that so? Why is this kind of picture crosses all cultures and all times? Why is that so? Why the father lifts the baby in the air on one palm, and the mother is in anxiety that something might happen to the baby? Why they have different relation? Why does the father even does this by instinct? Why is that so?
It's a good question. I really do not know. What I know is that it is interesting that I think that in ancient Rome, when a father was to recognize his a child as his son, because we
Mhm.
never know who is the father, right?
Mhm.
Uh, but the ritual, because they ritualize everything, to buy a property, to
Mhm.
marry, to get married. So to recognize the son, you father must lift in the air, just like lift in the air the baby looking at his face to face, let's say. This is the father and the son. I don't know why. What do you think about it?
Let's ask Cindy and Jill. Jill, did you see somewhere along what you have seen so far when there's a baby that the father lifts the baby in the air? Let's say in 6 months or something, when the babies are capable of sitting, the father, even before the father lifts the baby in one arm and the mother is in anxiety when this is happening. Did you evidence this? Cindy, did you? Yes? Why this is happening? Why? Why crossing all cultures and all time? This is something that naturally fathers do without even thinking. They don't plan. They don't have a committee in the morning with all the managers, with all CEO, and say, let's vote if I will lift the baby in the air. Just they grab it and they throw it in the air. Why is that so? You're getting close. You're getting close. You're getting close. Yes, the father sees the baby as a separated entity. The fathers, Shalom Abigail, the father sees the baby as a separated entity. The mother does not. In the Hebrew sources, we find the common saying that a fetus is his mother's thigh. Fetus, not a baby. What does it mean? Fetus or a baby, it's the mother. It's like nature. There is no separation between the two. There is no separation. The mother is the baby is the mother. But all fathers, yes, sees the baby as a separated entity. What does it mean? And here we have the source of the, if you want, the sacrifice of Isaac, or sacrifice in general. The fathers see the baby as a separated entity, as outside of himself. In other words, there's an object, there's a subject. There are two. From here, you can understand why Abraham hears this saying, take thy son, ta 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 ta, that you love, ta 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 ta, and bring him up onto the mountain that I shall show you. This is what is coming to Abraham. The Bible does not say, oh, we don't have any report from mothers because the baby is her, like the tree is the forest. So what is more or even more interesting is the idea of sacrifice. The mother, in a way, do you understand? Where does it lie? Where does it come from? The mothers are afraid you might kill the baby. And in Hebrew, it's much more interesting because it says ha'alehu le'olah, rising up as rising up offering, meaning rising up. This is what they do naturally. The fathers, this is what they do, whether they want or not. This is what fathers are doing. This is the meaning of fatherhood. She could not. Of course she could not. She didn't know about it even. She died as a consequence. Yes, the book of Jasher explain what happens to Sarah. Yes. Yes. This is interesting because, yes, if Sarah in a way is the time, once there's, what is the meaning of sacrifice? To cancel the idea of space and time. When people come with this idea of sacrifice, any kind, yes, to bring it to the root, to the one. Yes, they want to cancel, squeeze space and time. Yes, and unite with the source. Yes, yes, this is it. So, mothers don't have this thing. And if we shall go into this even deeper, what you don't have to read the chapter itself. What they were carrying on the back to the mountain. What were they carrying on the back, Abraham and Isaac? Sticks, yes, it's your woods, yes, the wood. Why? Why? Which element? Which element will be used in the binding of Isaac? Yes, to light a fire. Yes, to light a fire. Yes. So you see? And what is the essence? And this is the interesting thing. What is the essence of fire? We can see now also in the fire in California. What is the essence of fire? The fire is always what? Rising. Water are descending. Fire is ascending. So please pay attention. Ha'alehu le'ula. Yes, ascending or rising as a rising offering. And the rising is with fire. This is not Sarah's idea or any mother idea. In many cultures, Yanis, good evening. In many cultures, there's this, and not just in terms of, like, let's say, through historical lens. Till our times, and I heard it when there's a baby is being born, specifically if it's the firstborn, and it makes the parents parents. Those people suddenly they became parents because there's a baby, and they feel a need to sacrifice something. Why is that? This is a very, very strange idea. Don't have this idea so much because this is nature. Nature brings about, like the forest, suddenly we walk and there's like a new bud or a baby tree. I don't know how to call it. Yes, this is what nature does. There's a new kitten, there's a new puppy, suddenly there's a new cloud, a bit of rain, a new water pond, coming and going. This is nature. But the father, he wants to burn. There is a rivalry. Usually they speak, there is a song, very famous song by father and son. He changed his name, the musician, during the times. It is called Father and Son. It's not. It's a time to make a change. Da take it. Cat Stevens. Yes, Cat Stevens. Father and Son. And people speak about his father and son. Av ben Even. Av is father, Ben is son. When you combine both of them, you get a stone, which is chain or part of nature. But there is a rivalry. There is a rivalry. Who was before and who is after? And the one who's before is the Father, and the one that appears after is the Son. So there's a before and after. This is a linear thinking. The binding of Isaac comes to abort, to cancel the fact that it did not happen, not the idea of the Father, but the fact that it did not happen comes to show that in life there is not linear. Life does not work linearly. There is no before and after. Though when we go to school, they always try to tell us that there's a before and after, there's a history and a story, there's a parent and preceding the parents, there are grandparents, and people try in all cultures, But all of those traditions that leaning on the former generations as the source, in a way, this is a Canaanite worshiping, to worship the dead. This is about the binding of Isaac. I'm not sure, Fernando, that you were in this direction this morning or the other evening, but it came to me yesterday.
It, I was not exactly on this line. In fact, I would say not. I was somehow because I started to think about the different stages of sacrifice that is needed. Uh, say the sacrifice to break the bond with the family that for the youth people is necessary, and also we have this sacrifice of the kindness is important alongside the life that is necessary in the middle of the life, let's say. The idea of reputation uh, and all this kind of stuff that only makes you down, drags your energy. Finally, we have the final sacrifice, that is the sacrifice that you are talking about. This is the Abraham sacrifice because he was like the old sage. Do not need to be an old sage to make it, but I think that he portrays this idea of Arikan Ping, like the one who sees the view from the soul perspective, because all of our the things that we pass through in this life, the falls and the like giving is for the body. Soul perspective is different. You know, is lose for the body is not necessarily a lose for the soul. So I don't know if I make myself clear, but I truly like it what you just said. Cancel the idea of space and time. This is the sacrifice with capital S, let's say. The others are a preparation maybe for this one.
There is no sacrifice. Only in the brain. In life there is no sacrifice. Just life which is happening. Nobody's sacrificing anything. The only thing is that what people call sacrifice is to drop or to leave the attachment that they have in their mind for something. But there is no sacrifice. There isn't.
But it's actually just like you said about the babies and the mother,
Mm,
that they are not separated entities.
yeah.
Uh, say
The
that
fathers, yes.
for the baby is a sacrifice to scatter from the mother, or for the mother is a sacrifice to let the baby go, to let the kid when he grown up a little bit to be
To drop
himself.
the to
Drop
drop the
this.
idea.
It is interesting that in the end of life, baby needs to realize that it's unity not with the mother but with everything. It's interesting. Nothing is separated. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct. The same idea we have with Adam in Genesis 2, because there in this chapter, name gave name. Vaikra Adam, Adam gave name to all the animals. Yes, 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 that's correct. In Genesis 2, Adam gave name to all the animals. And this is quite frank. because Adam can speak. But the second part of the verse is quite awkward. And the man did not find any companionship or assistant against him. This is how the Hebrew says, ולאדם לא מצא עזר כנגדו. So, Adam is capable of naming the animals by saying their essence and naming them. And we are speaking about giving names or calling names. This weekly portion is Parashat Shmot. The names, we call it Exodus because this is the beginning of the second book of Moses, which is called Exodus on the, let's say, it is called around the plot, so to speak, of the book, but the book in Hebrew is called Shmot, names. And we are still speaking about names. Now, the question to you is simple. Why the verse in the Bible mentions in one, let's say, breath, the fact that Adam could name the animals, but on the other hand, there is no companionship or assistant against him or parallel. Why to write such a sentence? Why? What is the connection between those two parts? Man gave name, or Adam gave name to all the animals, but Adam has no companionship. Why those two topics are mentioned in one verse, and why immediately after we can see that Lord God put asleep or Adam into deep sleep and so on. There's a creation of a woman. It's not a biological woman. How can you explain this verse? Why the one who can call or name the animals give them names, yes, does not have a friend? Of course it's not a biological woman, Cindy. Of course not. Where do we live? Of course not. No. You don't live in a surgery room. The Bible does not speak about medicine or medical squad. Of course it's not. What is the problem with the men?
Uh,
Yes.
Seems
Yes,
that
Fernando.
lacks, I would say that it lacks horizontal relationship. Humanity lacks the relation, Adam lacks the horizontal relationship because it was made, let's say, superior to the animals. I can remember the psalm that speaks like this. Um, but you need to turn you need to learn to turn to the other, to not live as this auto erotic image, like a narcissist. So I don't know. I think that
Question.
it's
Yes.
a dynamical relationship between, among two.
Very. What happens in an office when you have senior doctor or senior lawyer or senior, let's say, vet, and you have apprentice? What what happens? Why usually we find in life like senior and junior? Why is that so? Why it is so important to put next to every, let's say, professional or yes? Yes, yes. The senior knows everything. Yes, this is it. The senior knows everything. Therefore, therefore, he is considered to be what? Dead. Yes? The one who knows, he is already dead because he knows beforehand. He does not leave the moment. He knows. He is not being here. He knows. It is considered to him to be dead. Therefore, we need a fresh living soul. So it is a child in a family, or we have like a apprentice or assistant, or a foreigner, or a beggar, an outsider that does not know, because knowing is considered to be dead. Also, seeing things from the outside. Therefore, there is a need to lower Adam, yes, in his level of wisdom, of it's not wisdom, of knowing, that he would not know. Again, that he would not know, because when we sleep, there is no sense of knowing. When we sleep, it's like zero. There is nothing coming on the screen of knowing. So there's a need to put someone to sleep and to start fresh, but from a lower, not knowing perspective, but from living perspective, living in the moment perspective. Since the intent, we could say intention, the aim is that we shall not know, not that we shall know, because if we know, we are considered to be dead. But our brains will always will send to us signals that we know. I know, I was there. I know the city. I know the people. I know the place. Because we also, in the realm of knowing, we also take everything as to be historical. I know the city. I know the people. But from this perspective, when someone goes through the world with this mindset, he's dead. And therefore, there's a need to put someone to sleep, not to know. And then life starts, because thinking about life or knowing things just cancels the presence of being. We think that we know because, so to speak, we have names. There are names here attending. Yes, Yanis, Jill, Rodrigo, Felipe, Cindy, Abigail, but we don't know. This is the true thing, that we don't really know. But the cognition, kind as a cognition in the brain, will always say that I know, of course. Questions? We can live round full life only when we don't know, only when we live in the moment. There is no need to know. There is no need to know. This is what makes us miserable in a way. It's not historical Adam, it's about us. Are we, when we are thinking, is like, let's say, yes, not knowing is, yes, considered to be asleep, so to speak. Yes, you can also unmute and speak, Fernando, if you would like to share. Not knowing is like sleeping. Yes.
I liked what you just said it, and I just watched a movie. The name is Star with Kate Blanchett, and do not know if people. It is not an easy movie to indicate, let's say, because it has a different pace, different sounds. But the idea is the story about a maestro, first woman to be the maestro of Berlin Philharmonic. And in the movie, it's interesting because this woman is the pharaoh, let's say. It's
Mhm.
the maestro is the senior, just like you said, is the one who knows everything, and she cannot sleep because every time she's asleep and she's been haunted, loses the control, you know. So she's always tired. It is quite interesting, and she does not have the ability to turn to the other because she
Wow.
already knows.
Wow.
Yes, it is quite dense movie, I would say. It portrays perfectly what you just said about the senior knows everything, and, and she could not sleep.
Yes, thank you, Fernando. This is why when when we sleep there is like not knowing. This is like zero. When we know, if we look at the say binary system, knowing is one, not knowing is zero. Like reboot. So when we go to deep sleep there is a reboot. We don't know who we are. We don't know where we are. We don't know what time it is. When we wake up, so to speak, it doesn't matter in the middle of the night from a nap. It takes like splits of a second, and we don't still not knowing where we are, what time, what day, until it lands. And then there's injection of knowing, and then we are running to do something. Or we are flooded with stream of thoughts of knowing that comes with the knowing. I believe that everyone experienced this. So when we go to sleep, when there's a deep sleep, there is a sense of relief. Because the deep sleep is like in the source. Yes, the deep sleep is like in the source. This awareness, but in rest. Awareness not in motion. Yes, but once someone is waking up, Where am I? Okay, in this. Oh, I nap on the sofa. Or some people nap in the middle of the movie sometimes. And when they awake, it's like a shock. Where am I? Like almost anxiety. Did I lose something? Where was I? Where am I? Who it is? But there's so sweet. The sleep is so sweet because it's like in the source energy in rest. It's so sweet. It's like a dough. Yes, when you take flour and yeast and you make a dough, but you did not open the dough. It's not yet open to be a pizza or, let's say, or yeast cake. It's not yet decided it will become a bread or a pizza or yeast cake with apples or with berries. It's just, it is very sweet. It's unknown. You see it? Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes. When it connects like to the 0 point, it's great. Ayn Bright writes about it beautifully, Cindy. You'll find it in the book. This is extraordinary, extraordinary part of the book. I've never seen, read somebody or hear somebody speaks about this chapter so beautifully. We can experience sleep even not sleeping. Yes, we can experience deep sleep in being, meaning not sleeping, let's say, on the couch or in bed. Just to be is like a deep sleep. Just to be without the running thoughts of I need to do, I need to make, my name is, my life story is, ancestors, all of this nonsense. Because when this nonsense is running inside, it is like going into not just a jail. It's just to it's not it's not living. It's death. Basically, those thoughts which are flooding us about ourselves, so to speak, the selfie. It's like we're spending time in the morgue, when they keep the cold boiled daddies before burial. So it happens to all of us that we are flooded with those selfing thoughts of all kinds. Family drama, family story, who were ancestors. But when it comes, you just set it free. Just cold. It's dead. It is dead. And like we don't sit next to a table and we eat, I don't know, uneatable food that will jeopardize us. We don't nourish by those thoughts of selfing because it's dead. It's poisonous. It's poisonous. Let's put it like this. So it comes and it likes to beat us, yes, with these thoughts of selfing, but it's a morgue basically, to visit in the morgue. Because each and every one has his own dead story, that wants to impose itself on him, on her, and present it as the truth, but it's not the truth at all. Because if it is running in everybody's else different brain and there's no conversation about it, it's like dead. Unless if it comes through the voice, through conversation, through a writing to a friend, through music. Otherwise it's like dead bones. Therefore Adam is put to sleep. There is no, so to speak, when people the last moment comes and consciousness leaves the body, there is no reward waiting, as we were told. That the moment is the essence. There is no, how do you say it? Torment, you say a great run. Life is not a marathon. We don't need to arrive anywhere. We already are. In that manner, we don't have names even. Because having a name, it means we live outside of this phenomenon, outside of the source. Therefore, we can rest. Oh, there's resting or being. We don't need to catch anything. We don't need to arrive anywhere. We don't need to achieve anything. We don't have to become. All of those getting, arriving, and so becoming is just a gymnastic that the brain's offering us. It's a calculating machine, and this is what it does. This is its gym offering. Don't need your, you don't, Fernando and friends here who are listening. There was a war. There is a war here, and we don't even say the word tomorrow. We don't say the word tomorrow. Why? Who knows if it will be tomorrow? This is what let's say the last 15, 16 months taught us. We don't even say tomorrow. We don't even think we don't use tomorrow I will or tomorrow I go, or there is no tomorrow in the dictionary. Because who knows if we shall live the next moment. It's funny because you can take this exercise. Once you say tomorrow I will do A, B, C, D, the brain is also active there in the future at 8 o'clock, and he like pulling lines from this moment to tomorrow at 8, and there's like heartbeats and imagination. You're already there at 8 o'clock, and I will do it, and the torture starts. because it's imaginary place tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Or also, the past is imaginary place as well, and people are torturing themselves about the past and about the future, equally not existing. We already in it, Rodrigo. We already in the garden. Going outside of the garden is to think that tomorrow I will do this. So if you think that you tomorrow will do X, Y, Z, it means we are not being in the garden, because what does it mean in the garden? In the garden there's one thing, being. That's it. So if you think about the past, you're outside of the garden. Think about the future, you're also outside of this being mode. We both ways are torturing because it's duality, and this is what the topic of those conversations is. Non-duality. It's not the past, not the future, it's the present, and who knows what will be the next moment, if we shall live the next moment. I said this week, I told maybe in a few months, and somebody says, who knows if we shall live in a few months? So what do you say? Maybe in a few months, maybe in spring. Now it's winter here, yes. And I said maybe in spring, and somebody says, who knows if we shall live in spring? Just to give you an example. We are so convinced, and people have yearly plans, and they have targets and aims, what I will do in this month and this. The truth is that we don't know if we should. This is the truth. We don't know. There is a presumption that we shall live, and the next week I will do A, B, C, D, and the next month the presumption. But in real, we don't know. Because, and we experienced this many times in the war, that when there's a bombing and then the missiles are coming, and suddenly there's, it might be the end. So everything that, so to speak, you used to think or to hang on or to believe that was your life or my life, it comes, and this suddenly bombing comes and everything disappears. So what? Yes, it disappears. It's only existing in the notion of the human. There is no ice cream waiting, a candy, chocolate cake, birthday cake. Just check. Life can disappear in a moment. In a way, the truth is zero. The truth is like zero. Is nothing. And the more we understand or perceive ourselves as nothing, the closer we are to the truth. Because the truth is nothing, nobody wants the truth. Because we can never have nothing. You can only have something. This is why the truth is not requested. Because it's nothing. How many times have you experienced death threats in your life, Cindy? How many times? How many moments? How many? How many times were you close to death? When the last moment appears, what do you see? What happens? Does not have to return to God. It's already there, and the Shema is always there. It does not need to return. The body is left behind. Consciousness is emptiness. This is it. Yes. Nothing is lost. What we think that we usually connect ourselves to our bodies because there is a relation between body and name. But when the body disappears, is left behind, consciousness remains. It's not gone. We just have this misconception that we are our bodies. This is a misconception. Consciousness is much bigger than the body. Let's say a body of human, 170, 180, let's say. Yes, few kilograms, a bit of ability to see, few senses. It's quite limited. Few senses that can detect light, sound, smelling, touching, yes, hearing. But we aren't those bodies. Again, we aren't our bodies. Consciousness is not a body. Consciousness is like air which is moving through a flute. The flute is the body. Consciousness moves. Oh, let's say consciousness is verbing, moving. The body moves the body. But consciousness is not a body. Suffering comes from thinking that we are those bodies. This is because the suffering always notes limitations. And to think that we are bodies, our bodies is a great limitation. To think that we are our bodies or our names. Yes? This is create suffering. Questions? So, with this beautiful topic, I would I would like to thank each and every one of you for being present here in the space. Yes, yes, please. Yes, one question. Yes, Fernando. You can also unmute and speak.
I'm sorry, it is so beautiful and so many things come to think about. And Jill said about the neshama, and I can remember many schools in that not everybody has a soul. Need to say, go to find a term, but in relation with the soul, I think this is the most important term to allow it live. It is like a plant that needs water, that needs time, that needs space manifest. So many people speaks that everybody has a soul, a neshama. And it's interesting that in the other hand, this schools gives like, well, if you wish to conquer a soul, you need to run this marathon. You need to take this and that and listen to this and that and one and so forth and joins these or no, scale the pyramid in the top. So I don't know what you think about this. I don't know if I made myself clear, but hope that
Quite, you made a letter of conditions, like for a soul. You mean like requirements or so?
I was let me reframe it. Who was speaking about neshama, and many schools that schools, spirituality schools, let's say, these spirituality groups that not everybody has an issue. So the next question is, okay, so how can I not have, but how can I develop my neshama? These same schools gives you, in the other hand, well, you need to run this marathon. You need to read this book and you need to
Maybe not.
good and you need to make things to community, develop the will to give, and I have the will to receive as well. You can give to this school as well. So I don't know. I don't know if it got better, but I don't know what do you think about this uh, the idea of neshama and developing the neshama. What does it mean to be in relation with it? I'm sorry, Yeti, to open the mic to make a question in the end of the encounter, but
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. It is quite interesting because service goes with a sense of neshama or soul service, and it's opposite to selfing, I would say. And not that people have to do something specifically. It's, I would say, the opposite. Just to drop the idea that we are in charge because the opposite sense of a soul is that I'm in charge or responsible. To drop this idea. This is it. Soul is what animates everyone here. A living soul. The whole universe is one living soul. So it's not something that we have, like you have a cup of coffee. So yes, yes, of course. They promise, so to speak, organizations like spiritual organizations. Yes, they offer programs. Yes, yeah. But if you would say that it's nothing, who will come? If the organization will say you have to take a course of 12 weeks and you will get a certificate, people will pay and come. But if you say it's nothing, soul is nothing, nobody will come. But it's the truth. It's funny, So simple. Weinreb speaks about this in the book about Esther. He says that gratuitously, gratuitously, that it doesn't cost anything. We call it in Hebrew free love, ahavat chinam. Yes, yes, yes. Doing things or without expecting, or what do you mean doing things without expecting? Not I'm the doer, but something is happening through, and there is no expectation, because if there is expectation to get something in return, it means that I'm the doer like Cain, and I expect something in return. So gratuitously, something is happening through. Who knows what will happen? It's happening without calculating. And this is the truth. But who wants the truth? People would like to get a certificate from any kind of institution of graduating spiritual course number 5, spiritual course number 6. The more we sense or feel the emptiness, the nothing, that we are nothing, the more life can stream inside or through us. If we remove our, let's say, opinions, let's say about colors. So some people have opinions about colors. I don't wear, just an example, but it can be any field of thinking or life. I don't wear those colors. You have this opinion, and it's like a wall, and it's blocking something. And if you don't have this opinion, and this color comes and you go through it, you experience it, just it's something that I didn't think really. Yeah, you didn't think this, therefore you're alive, you're living in the moment. Some people, they have these walls with all kinds of food. I don't drink coffee after 5 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. All kinds of limitations about things that are happening in life. And it's so weird. Once I heard it, that people do not drink So something very simple, maybe stupid, but people telling you, I don't drink coffee above or after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Innocently, as you come for coffee, so I don't drink coffee. And why they tell you? Because I will not be able to sleep at night if I will drink coffee after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You see, this kind of sentence is like just an example that from people who feel or sense that they have control about their sleeping. Whenever we go on to sleep at night, or if we will fall asleep, and when we shall be awakened, it's not clear to us if we shall ever be awake from this sleep. There are all kinds of limitations or sentences that we are telling ourselves. The brain is offering, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing that, I'm not. And it's like narrowing. Because who is the I that does not drink coffee after 4? Who is this? Can you find it? Who is this? Where is he? Where? Many organizations, they want to offer diets and fitness centers. They offer you the best training in sports, the best, how do you say, menu in food. And they claim that they know what fits what and how you can push few more calories down or up the alley, and nonsense. Nonsense. In a way, people are afraid to live life, so they look for like protections, like families, stories, fitness centers, all kinds of spiritual schools, universities, degrees. They hide from life. Yes. And with this beautiful verse of Psalms, we shall thank all of you for participating in this beautiful session. Wishing you a very good life wherever you are, and hope to hear from you soon. תודה, אינשלום.